Happy Friday, everybody. Woo-hoo! We made it through another week. Hope everybody's having a great day today. Here in southern Indiana, the sunshine is out and it's like the perfect temperature, at least for me. It's about 70 degrees. It's just a beautiful day. So I'm excited to hop on here and teach you a few things, and then hopefully I'll be able to get outside and play around a little bit, just enjoy this nice weather while we have it. So today, this training is all about strategic planning. Now, usually you hear strategic planning, business plans, all that kind of stuff, and you want to run for the hills. But we have to do some kind of planning in our business if we want to make traction, if we want to move forward. So I wanted to do this. Actually, a couple of the members in the Facebook group had requested this. So I wanted to do this little segment because we're getting into Q4, and most businesses, even, huge businesses, they make most of their profit during that last quarter of the year. And so everybody jumps on the bandwagon. They want to take off, have a running start for that last quarter. So I thought, we're coming into October. Let's just do this now. So in this little training session today, I'm going to show you how you can easily create a one-page strategic planning framework. So it'll help you get focused for this quarter, this coming quarter, and also for next year. And as I go through this, I'm going to talk about 10 key benefits that this will help you for your business, help you develop a strategy so that you can grow. And I have something extra special at the very end. And when we finish here, you'll have the tools, so you'll be able to map out your fourth quarter goals and design the future business, whatever it is that you want. All right. So let's get going here. So first of all, let's just say the what. When you hear strategic planning, a lot of times you think, like big businesses, they all get together, they go away for 2 or 3 days. But regardless, if you're a one-person show or you're growing a team, you need to do some strategic planning. And so when we say strategic planning, it's like a formalized roadmap, so that you know where you're going. Now, I love to take road trips. I don't know if any of you like to take road trips, but even if I wanted to go out and, let's say, do a drive and look at the fall colors, I want to know at least a little bit of where I'm going to go, how long are we going to be driving, where are we going to stop to eat, all that kind of stuff. So when you think about putting together your strategic planning, just think of it like a roadmap. Where do you want to take your business? And there's really 3 keys that you need to think about when you first start planning this. First of all, you need to look at, where are you now? Okay, so where are you with your business? Maybe you're just getting started, or maybe you've been in it for a while. You're not where you want to be. You're still trying to figure out how to streamline things. You want to grow it. So that's the first place. You have to have that, what we call a benchmark of where you're at. And then, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? So again, a great analogy is, how many of us have gone on a diet? And you don't want to just say, I want to go on a diet. Usually you have a very specific target. It might be number of pounds, or it might be a dress size, whatever it is, but you have to have that benchmark. And then you have to know where you want to go so that you have something to aim for. And then the piece that I think a lot of people forget about is, what do you need to do to get there? So, I would love to drop 20 or 30 pounds and fit into those skinny jeans, but I need some kind of a plan, some kind of a framework, because sitting on the couch during COVID is not helping me get to that goal, right? So give me a thumbs up if that makes sense. If you're watching on the replay, make sure that you type in replay so that I know that you're following along here. So basically, that's the what on strategic planning, where you're at, where you want to go, and what tools or what do you need to do to get you to that place. All right. Now, the second piece of building your strategic plan, these are the juicy bits that's going to keep you focused. It's the benefits. Why should we go through all of this trouble? So the first reason is when you map out your business, it gives you focus on the overall direction and vision for your business. And all of us, especially if we're on the online space, we might have taken quite a few turns and maybe we're still trying to figure out the complete destination, but maybe that path is getting clearer. But we have to at least decide what direction and what vision. And sometimes people use this phrase called, you have to come up with a big, hairy, audacious goal. So in other words, if you don't aim for the stars, you're not even going to get halfway there. So dream big. Where do you want to go with your business? And that, again, the reason you want to do this planning is it keeps you focused so that you know what direction to go. And as you're building the strategic plan, again, it gives you that current benchmark. And that benchmark is so important because that's how you measure progress. And it also helps you measure, I'm not going to say failure, but it helps you measure what doesn't work. All right. You need that. So if you're not tracking it, then how do you know what works and what doesn't? And as you're mapping out your strategic plan, in addition to knowing where you want to go at the end, you need to map out point A to point B to point C and so forth. So another benefit when you map out the strategic plan, it gives you that focus so that you can really say, well, yes, I want to get to this end point, but to get there, I first have to go from A to B. And then once I reach B, then I can go on to C and so forth. So give me, give me a little heart or something in the comments if that makes sense to you, that focus is so important. And then as you're working on your strategic plan here, another beautiful benefit is it clarifies what works. So again, by using that benchmark, you can see, okay, I've decided to do this, but then as you're examining what's been going on, so next year when you do this or next quarter, you can look back and say, maybe that's not working. And that will give you that flag of, hey, let's take a detour because this isn't working. All right. Another great benefit is it defines the strategy and the execution. So again, you have to know where you're going and you have to know how you're going to get there. And the next reason, which I think is critical, is the most important really, is when you have a strategic plan in place, it allows you to be proactive, not reactive. So most of us, it's easy to do. We sit down at our computer in the morning and we know what we're going to work on. We get a little distracted by Facebook or an email. And then 2 hours later, you look up and you think, wait a minute, I'm not working on what I'm supposed to. But if you keep this strategic plan in front of you, you know where you're going, what you need to be working on, it really helps you learn to be proactive, that this is what I'm working on. This is what I'm going to stay focused on. I don't need to figure out how to use that new software because it doesn't fit into my overall plan. Okay, let me give you a great example of this. Podcasting. We hear a lot about podcasting. It's really taking off. It's a great tool to use to promote your business. And I think, maybe I should get into podcasting, but it's not part of my strategic plan at this point. Maybe a year, 2 years from now, maybe it will be, but right now for me, it's not. So again, I'm being proactive. I know exactly what I'm working on, the goals that I'm trying to hit. And when we do that, it gives us a sense of direction. So every week, so if you've taken any of my other courses, you know that I always talk about plan your week in advance. So maybe you do that on Sunday night. You look at your calendar, you look at those weekly and monthly and quarterly goals, where you're trying to go to. So you have this sense of direction. You know that, okay, by the end of October, I want this course launched. By the end of November, I want this to happen, and so forth. And when you have this strategic plan in place, it gives you this efficiency. So in other words, you're not wasting time doing all the stuff that's not moving you towards your goal. So especially in the online space, I think we all want to be more efficient, right? So if that makes sense, give me a little smiley face on that. Hooray for efficiency. And then another great benefit for strategic planning is it helps you learn, or I'm sorry, it helps you to scale your business. Now, we all got into the online space for different reasons. Some people have the goal of growing a team, like a literal team where they have people working with them. Other people are happy to be a one-person show, but maybe they want to have some VAs helping them so that they're not doing everything in their business. Even if you're a one-person show, you'll want to scale in the sense of being more efficient with your time, and we would all like to grow financially, right? So by putting the strategic plan in place, it helps you to be able to scale your business. And then again, the last thing, and they all kind of tie in together, this strategic plan will give you this structure for your ideas. Now, this is really important because as the entrepreneur, we are like creative experts on steroids. I know my mind, you're probably the same way. We can't turn our mind off. We're constantly thinking of new ideas. We're learning. We're curious. And so then it's like we're so excited about stuff. It's so easy to go down those rabbit holes. For me, because I am in technology and systems, I mean, constant change. And, you know, there's a part of my business that I need to keep up with what's current, but I don't need to learn everything out there. I don't need to be an expert on everything out there. And so with my strategic plan, I have this structure that keeps me focused on what I need to be working on. Okay, does that make sense? So I've given you several benefits of why you should be doing this strategic planning. Excuse me. So let's talk about the how. Now you can go online and you can find all kinds of templates and all, you know, I mean, you could be writing 50 pages of strategic planning, but what I want to do is show you a really easy way of how you can do this. And so in just a minute, I'm going to show you how to do that. But you start out basically by defining your big picture goals. So where do you want to be at the end of this year, the end of next year? Now, a lot of people talk about, you know, plan out your next 5 and 10 years. I'm not really into that because life changes so quickly, as we've seen over the last few months. I mean, I have a general idea, but I'm not worried about 5 years from now. But the next year, I have a pretty good goal, a pretty good vision of where I'm going. So that's what I do. You can, I mean, you might have let's say a 10-year goal that you're going to retire everybody in the house except for working on your online business. But to get into the nitty gritty of planning all of that, I don't. I just focus on kind of the here and now. Excuse me. So your goal might be to have a 5-person team, and the objective might be to have an evergreen business. So in other words, you would be doing some things in the business, you'd be outsourcing some things, but evergreen in the sense that maybe you have online courses and those are just running in the background. So again, as you're mapping out your strategic plan, you have to have this big picture goal of what you're looking for. And then you have to decide what metrics are you going to use to start tracking what's happening now and tracking those goals. And then, as I talked about, you're going to define your current situation, decide where you want to go, when you want to get there, and then map out that implementation plan. And having somebody help you with that, a coach like myself, of course, that's a good time to have somebody else help you, because you map out this plan and you have somebody that helps you keep moving forward towards those goals. All right. So what I want to do is I am going to share my screen here. And let me get in here. And give me a thumbs up. Sometimes I can't always, I get all these screens open here. So just give me a thumbs up if you can see this screen here. So if you've ever worked with me one-on-one, you know that I love mind mapping. So this isn't a lesson on mind mapping, but you can just follow along. Because I think it just makes it so clear on how to build out this strategic plan. So I'm just going to put my business name. Of course, I'm Starr Consulting, but Online Biz Made Easy. I've got a whole grouping of courses that's going to be coming out that fall under this umbrella. So my business, Online Biz Made Easy. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about, or I'm going to demonstrate here, is I'm just going to call it big picture goal. So in other words, what do you want your business to look like? Well, my business, I definitely want it evergreen. And evergreen means it runs in, if I can type, runs in the background. An evergreen course for me will be mainly online courses. I might get back into the webinar market, those evergreen webinars. All right, so it's going to be evergreen. And you decide on your income. Now, again, remember I said to reach for the stars. So, I mean, you don't have to say, well, let's see, I made 5,000 this month. Next month, I want 6,000. Aim for the stars. And what I suggest is come up with a yearly income of what you would like, and then break that down so that you know what your monthly income. So you would decide that. And then also the perfect, I'm just going to say perfect situation. So what do I mean by that? For me, again, if you work with me or if you know me much, my ideal work situation is 4 days a week. I don't work on the weekends. I love to have one day off that I don't think about work, basically just my play day during the middle of the week. So that's my ideal situation. And I'd written some notes here. Consistent clients. I do one-to-one coaching, so I would like some consistency in that part of my business. And of course, my evergreen courses. And my goal is that I'll have 4 major courses. Actually, let me move this over here. I'm just going to say major courses, anything over like $500. And maybe I want 4 mini courses. Okay. Again, I'm defining what my perfect situation will be. And what else? I do have a team, some virtual assistants. So how can I say this? My goal is I would like to be giving them about 20 hours of work a week. That's my goal here. All right. And let's see. All right. So, and then under your big picture goals here, I like to say, I like to document my why. So in other words, why are you doing this? Now, of course, we all have something that we want to share and impact with others. And I think that goes without saying, the entrepreneur spirit, that's just part of you. You have something, maybe you've learned something the hard way and you want to share it with the world. But why am I doing this instead of just working a 9 to 5? For me, it's definitely independence. I want to be my own boss. And another one of my whys is I want to be able to travel when there is such a thing, so that I'm just going to say, not locked to a desk. Okay. So that's another one of my whys. And so I think I'd put travel and mobility. And then another one of my whys is to retire hubby and me, but basically for our income just to be online. All right. So again, these are just kind of big picture goals. You can make them as specific as you want, but you need to know what is it that you're aiming for and why. I can't see the comments right now because my screen's blocked, but give me a heart or a thumbs up if that makes sense. All right, so that's the first pick, or the first thing I like to do when I'm mapping out this strategic plan. And then the next thing is, okay, then how am I going to get there? And what products or services am I offering? And I just call this the product ladder. Let me make this a little bigger so you can see it. So for me, my some of my resources, I have an online biz launchpad, which I'm not going to say hope. I'm just going to say launch in October. Okay. And this is an online course. And this course is a $9.97 course. All right. And then another one of my products is, I call it my PPE. It's a productivity program for entrepreneurs. And this is a 6-week course online, a $297 course. Another product, build your own, I'll call it a landing page. So it's kind of a mini course, I guess we'll call it that. It's just about 4 hours, start to finish, and this is just a lower priced course there. Build your own landing page, and what else? And then something else that I want to start doing is creating some what we call mini courses. I have one that I'm working on. I'm just going to call it Canva Creatives. And many in the sense that it's probably going to be like $17. Okay. And, you know, you can just come up with, I'm just going to do this so you can kind of see the idea here. So I would like to create 2 or 3 of those in my product ladder. And then the last thing is my I'm just going to say coaching, if I can type here. So I have my one-to-one high-end coaching, and this is about a $2,500 package. Okay. And then I have my VIP day. This is, it's kind of like a done with you, where we spend a day together, we roll up our sleeves, and we just knock out of the way some of these tech issues, like maybe getting parts of your funnel built, things like that. So that's another product that I offer. And then I also have what I call a breakthrough session, and that's $197. All right. So, and again, when you map yours out, it's going to look completely different. You might only have one thing. And when I work with people, I tell them it doesn't really matter what order, but you kind of need this big picture planning. Where do you want to go? And then everything's going to be leading to, so this could be, this is like my signature priced course. And again, because I'm going for evergreen, you know, that's the area that I would really like to start directing people to. And then, of course, my high-end coaching, but there's only so many hours in the day. So obviously, that's a little harder to scale. It's more intensive, but I do love working with people one-to-one. So I'm not ready to let that go. Some people in the entrepreneur world, their goal is just to do everything evergreen. And I'm not quite ready for that yet. All right. So give me a thumbs up if this is making sense to you, or a smiley face. Trying to find a pretty color that I like there. Okay, so still mapping out our strategic planner. So then the next thing that I would be working on here is marketing. All right, and when I get all done, I'll shrink this down so you can get a bigger picture of this. But marketing activities. So what do I hope to be doing this next quarter? Where am I marketing to? And this is really where some of my metrics are going to be really important. For me, I'm not going to say just social media, because mainly I'm just on Facebook. And the main place that I like to bring people through my funnel is on my Facebook group, Systems to Scale Your Business. Okay. And so what are some of my goals? What things am I working on towards that? Well, the first thing is posting daily. My goal is to grow members. And I have a goal for Q4. I would like 3 new members a day, which is very aggressive. I'm working with a coach. So we'll see how we get with that, but hey, we have to start someplace. So actively invite. So there's all kinds of work that I need to do to grow this. And my systems to scale is, whoops. This is my main, I'm just going to say my main launching place for all my services. Okay. And so some people, maybe they're not using social media, maybe they're using something else, but for me, this is the main place. So why am I mapping all this out? Because on my marketing, if this is the main place, then I really need to direct my marketing activities around Facebook. If that's making sense, give me another comment if you're following along, or again, if you're watching replay, I'd love to hear your comments on that. Okay, so let me just look at my notes here. All right, so that's my main vehicle right now. I'm very interested in Pinterest. So the next place that, and I would like to start doing something in Q4. So with Pinterest, I want to develop a campaign on how in the world am I going to do this. So I'm going to be creating my topics and my graphics. And I haven't decided on the X number of followers. I haven't decided that yet because I really don't know. And then again, drive people to the systems to scale. Okay. And so, and on this, I'll be working with a mentor or a coach to help me with that. All right. Now going back to marketing, what else? Another marketing. And again, as we're putting all this stuff down on paper, it doesn't mean we have to do everything tomorrow or everything this quarter, but I'm mapping out what I would like the rest of this year and 2021 to look like. So I want to get back into, I used to do it a while ago, but some paid Facebook ads. All right. And let's see. I had a thought here. So one thing is what I hope to do with the paid ads is the mini offers. Everybody's seeing these, they call them tiny but mighty offers or whatever, that's $19 or $17, whatever. And the purpose, you have to have a purpose for everything. The whole purpose is to drive traffic to my Facebook group and also to my other products that I sell. All right. And then I have gotten into LinkedIn just a little bit. It's an area that is kind of hot and cold. So again, I need to develop a campaign, and this will be an excellent place that my VAs can help me once we get this going here. All right. And then another area is organic reach. So again, how am I going to do that? So I don't know if everybody else feels the same way, but aren't we just flooded with information? We just can't keep up with everything. There is so much out there. Everybody's doing training. Everybody's doing Facebook Lives. Sign up for this challenge, do that. So for the rest of this year, I am going to decide on number of groups that I'm going to be in. I'm going to cut it way back. And those groups, I am going to commit to certain number of times a week that I'm going to be engaging in those groups. The key will be to reduce the number so that I can really give some attention and love to certain groups that will help me grow a following and also help me in the sense of, connect with some other people. And then the last thing, hopefully your head's not spinning here, but the last thing is YouTube. I do have a YouTube channel. It's in place, and I already have a system going for it, but I'm not really promoting it yet. And so I need to work on that. Okay. So let me just shrink this down a little bit, and you can see where we're going. So let's give this a pretty little color here. All right. So so far, again, our one-page strategic planning, we're talking about big picture goal. Where do I want to go? Why? Talking about product ladder. Now, some of you may not have developed your product ladder yet, or some of you already have it in place. You've just never put it in paper. So I've got my product ladder, my marketing activities, the different areas that I want to work on. And the idea is to get things out on paper. And then you can go back through and you can start assigning, okay, for Q4, I'm going to work on my Pinterest. And maybe the first quarter of 2021, I'm going to focus on Facebook ads and so forth. I mean, you get the idea, but you first have to get it on paper. All right. And then I'm going to create another column here. Whoops. Another tag here. And I'm going to call this accountability. Now, the reason, I'm an accountability coach, but the reason I'm putting this here is, how am I going to be accountable to everything that I'm mapping out? Well, and there's different ways I'm going to do it. So I'll use a spreadsheet to track my numbers. So on this, I'll put like number of new Facebook members that join, number of groups, and, the engagement, YouTube followers. We can go on and on, but the whole idea is here, I need something to track, but also to keep me accountable. And this is something that a little inside tip, even if you don't have trouble keeping yourself accountable, when you get somebody else involved, then it definitely kind of amps up the game a little bit. So even doing something like assigning my VA to update this, she might update it weekly or run some kind of report. Excuse me. It's just like when I was in the corporate world, the departments always had to generate some kind of report, and that report had to go up the chain. So people were always looking at those metrics. So for yourself, even if you're a one-person band, excuse me, so to speak, you need something to keep you accountable. So you just need to come up with some way that you can track, and you just have to figure out what it is you want to track so you can see where you're going. And another thing that you might want to do is get a partner. So this might be somebody that you pay, i.e. a coach. It might be like in some kind of a accountability group, something like that. All right. And it might even be a mentor, just somebody that will keep you on task and not spend the half hour talking about, the favorite recipe that they saw. Okay. So you want somebody that's going to be in your corner, but they're going to make sure that you're on task. All right. So I think that's a key thing, because you can come up with, all of this planning, but if you don't have some kind of accountability, it's never going to get done. And then the next thing is, this is where I would start defining, and where I'm not going to spend the whole time because I have something else I'm going to show you, but where you're really going to start drilling down. So for Q4, what am I going to get accomplished? And so the first thing that I'm going to do is my online biz launchpad. That's the name of the course. It will be launched. Okay. So that's high on my list to get that done. And then another thing is developing my mini course and get that launched. Okay. So those are my two highest in the food chain that I'm going to be working on. All right, so let's just take another quick peek at this. Now, we've been doing this for how long? 20 minutes, maybe? And here is my strategic plan for the rest of this year and next year. And the nice thing is I can pop in here anytime and I can modify it. I can refine it a little bit. I can start adding more details to it. So I hope that part was useful to you. Now, I'm going to show you something else. So let me just bring this up here just a little bit. So as I said, as you're mapping out your business, you need to come up with the money part. It'd be great if we could work for free, but we can't, because we have to eat, we have to live, and so forth. So as you're mapping out your goals, whether you do it annually or monthly, then how do you figure that out? So of course, I have my courses, my coaching business, everything here, but I'm going to show you this little spreadsheet that I think you're going to love. What you can do with this spreadsheet is basically you put your product names, how much you charge, how many you need per month, and it will show you your monthly and annual revenue. All right. So I'm going to go through this step by step in just a minute. But so let's just say, I'll just pull numbers. Let's say that I want to make $10,000 a month. That's my goal. All right. So if I come over here to this spreadsheet, let's first see if I can make this bigger. Okay, then I'll shrink it down. So the first thing you do is you just list out all of your products. So again, I'd already shared the prices of my products, my Launchpad course, my accelerated coaching program, my VIP day, landing page workshop, et cetera, et cetera. So here's the prices of all of those. Now, let me shrink this down some so we can see it. Don't worry about these expenses here right now. I'm going to come back to that in a second. And then you just start plugging in some numbers. So let's say I launch my course in October and I'm hoping for 5 people. It automatically generates what that monthly revenue. If I got 5 signed up for that every month, This would be annual revenue just from that course. My accelerated coaching, this is usually a 6 to 8 week program. Let's say I get 2 new clients a month. This is what I'm generating there. I don't know why this number is wrong. Let me just see if this will update. Okay, there it is. All right. So my VIP Biz Builder Day, maybe I want, actually, let me just change this to 2. Okay. And again, we're focusing on the month. And so as we go down here, so here's my gross revenue. And these are the numbers. What I like about this is when we say, oh, I want to make $10,000, and then we're like, oh, I don't know if I can do that. When you break it down here, it's like, oh, well, out of the billions of people, surely there's 5 people that want to launch their business that would be interested in my course. All right. So it makes it more doable. So now I'm at 13,000. Take out expenses, which I'll talk about in a second, and your taxes, and now my overall profit. Now here in the US anyway, there's different tax brackets. I don't know if we're in the 30%. We're probably in a lesser, but it's always good to have a little more saved up. So as I'm looking at this, if my goal is 10,000 in profit after the expenses, then I come up here and I say, okay, what can I do to accelerate this a little more? And so this productivity program, this is a good like entry price. So let's just say, well, can't I find 10 people that would take that? And so just by changing that, it's showing me that I'm a little closer there. All right. And then, so, okay, then I need 1 more VIP client for the month. And now we've got that monthly goal that I was aiming for. So do you like this spreadsheet? Give me a yes if you like this. And then at the bottom here, I don't know if you can see it. Let me shrink it down just a hair. Can we? Oh, I think so. At the bottom here, we have one for income, and then over here, expenses. And so how this works is you would just put in what are your normal monthly expenses. And some of these I've just made up numbers. Some months my virtual assistant costs are higher and lower and so forth, but you just put in the prices here and then number per month. What this means is usually it's just 1. So my Zoom account, I pay $15. It's 1 time a month, but maybe my virtual assistant, I don't know, maybe twice a month I'm spending that, I don't know. You use this the way that makes sense to you, okay? Some of these things, like my web hosting, my domain services, things like that, are generally billed to me annually. And so for those annual fees, it gives you the little calculation down here. But basically, you take 1 divided by 12. So you use that expense divided by 12. All right. So if I click on here, it just shows me that 1 of 12. So if my annual fee for my stock images is $180, the calculation's already there. I would just put in equal 1 over 12, and then it calculates. So, whoops, I don't want to do that. So then per month, this is what I would be spending. Okay. And that's where I come up with my monthly ongoing. Now, it's sometimes, and there might be other things. Let me go back to this sheet. Sometimes you might have, so let's say we weren't locked down and I was actually running a live workshop where I had people come in and they were sitting in front of me. So I've rented a room or whatever. If there's extra expenses just connected with that, I could enter it here if I wanted, or I could enter it over here kind of as a one-time thing. All right. Does that make sense? The beauty of this, though, is it helps you, once you see the numbers, when you come back to your strategic plan over here, then it's like, okay, if I truly want to make $10,000 a month, how am I going to do it? And so, I look at everything, all of the products and services, and then I just come over here to this spreadsheet and I really kind of hunker down and start saying, okay, if I want this much money to come from my Launchpad course, I need at least 5 sales a month. So how am I going to do that? So I would come back over here and I would come down to my marketing and I would say, okay, which areas of my marketing am I really going to focus on launching that course, advertising it, getting the word out so that I could get 5 people? All right. So I'm going to stop. And so I was going to tell you, if anybody's interested, I will share this out on the Google Drive. And so then you'll have it so that you can use it for yourself. Great. All right. So let me stop sharing my screen here. Stop sharing. Okay. So now I think I'm back here. All right. So as I talked about, hopefully it makes sense to you that there is so much value in doing this planning. It doesn't have to take you a whole weekend or a month or anything like that. Just jump in and get some things on paper. Use this little spreadsheet that I'm sharing with you to help you map out your numbers. If you want help, even if you wanted one of my breakthrough sessions, basically that's what we do. We do one of these mind maps and we create your business plan, and then I can help you figure out how to get to where you want to go. So I hope everybody loved this. Thank you so much for those of you that showed up live. And again, if you're watching on the replay, make sure that you let me know you've seen it on the replay. If you're watching on YouTube, again, make sure that you join the Facebook group for more training and day-to-day encouragement. So that's it. Thank you so much. Everybody have a great day.